Table of Content. Chapter 1, Heart and Soul Query 3, Choose Wisely. Chapter 2, Preparation 3, Get Ready. Chapter 3, Training 4, Get Schooled. Chapter 4, Commit beforehand. 5, Decide. Chapter 5, What Bravery Does for You. 5 Advantages. Law of Attraction, Accomplishing Your True Calling. Wrapping up. 6. 2. Chapter 1, Heart and Soul Query. If you take a minute to design your day, write up your to-do list, or consider what action to choose next, stop and inquire, where is the course with a heart and soul? This is potent as it will help you right away dispose of the choices that don't have a heart and soul. Choose wisely. If you're sitting at home, attempting to determine how to spend your night, ask yourself the heart and soul question. Observe how particular options feel hard-hearted and void, while other courses bring about a tingle of fervor when you think about them. Let your heart and soul help you discover the correct course. Take note that the word courage is in the word encouragement. Once we identify the course with a heart and soul, we feel boosted to get moving. Maybe rather than watching TV, you're boosted to read something that makes you feel good. Perhaps rather than playing PC games, you're boosted to have a rich conversation with your partner about the future of your love and life. And perhaps rather than simply going through the motions at your job, you're boosted to press yourself to make the most beneficial contribution you are able to. The heart-centered option leads you to the course of conscious development. I frequently ask myself this question when choosing which content to write next. Due to the ceaseless influx of reviewer propositions, as well as my own development experiments, I never have a deficit of ideas, but it may be backbreaking to pick out a subject as there are so many great ones to think about. Once I stop and inquire, where is the course with a heart and soul? The correct topic commonly becomes clean-cut. It's a matter that frightens me a bit, the one I'm not certain I can write on well, the one that excites my soul. On those occasions when the subject doesn't get clean-cut, it's because the heart-centered course calls for doing something different than a piece of writing. Post the heart and soul question in a position where you'll see it day after day, or set it as your PC screensaver, so you will be reminded of it a great deal. If you ask the question, you bring your system of logic and intuition into alignment. Why? Chapter 2, Preparation. You are able to utilize the same grooming idea from that was discussed earlier in this series, to step-by-step build your bravery. Rather than tackling your greatest concern straight off, face up to your smallest concerns first, and progressively work up to more important acts of bravery. Get ready. First of all, pick out a concern you'd like to overpower. It's alright if it's too large for you to take on straight off. Now see if you are able to distinguish one little step you may take to face up to that fear, something that may be a reasonably modest challenge for you, but that would still spark off some type of change. For instance, if you're afraid to start up a conversation with someone you don't know, your foremost goal may be to walk past an unknown person and grin. If that still feels too hard, begin with a simpler goal, like making eye contact with an unknown person for 1 minute. Discipline yourself with your beginning baby step till you feel geared up to increase the hurdle. There's no particular number of repetitions you have to finish for every step, but 5 to 10 is a great approximate range. Imagine you get the hang of making eye contact with unknown people, being able to control it for 1 full second without glancing away. You might feel a little nervous about it at the start, but after 10 repetitions, you are able to do it again and again. Then step up the challenge to 2 or 3 moments. When you've surmounted that, you might wish to advance to grinning. Following, try grinning and saying hello. Inside a matter of weeks, you are able to slowly work up to beginning a conversation with a total unknown person. Every baby step builds up your experience, letting you gradually advance from beginner to expert without feeling overpowered. Make every training step as little as you wish. Confront modest challenges that you're reasonably confident you are able to finish. Feel free to duplicate as many repetitions as you indigence till you feel prepared for the following step. You command the tempo. By abiding by this preparation procedure, you'll achieve these things. First of all, you'll quit reinforcing the dreadful avoidance patterns you demonstrated in the past. Secondly, you will condition yourself to behave more bravely in future spots. Your dread will diminish while your bravery grows. Chapter 3, Training. Among the biggest fears is that of the unidentified. Get schooled. The fear of the unknown may be relieved by accumulating supplementary knowledge. Facing up to fears head-on give the sack be helpful. However, if your anxiousness is for the most part due to ignorance or lack of experience, you might be able to cut back or eliminate it merely by schooling yourself. Imagine you're afraid to go out of your hometown and move to a different city, even though you would love to undergo the experience. Perhaps the primary reason for your hesitancy is ignorance. The whole feeling seems overpowering as you don't know what will happen. But you are able to learn what you have to know by studying sites, linking up with residents of other places, and taking little jaunts. The knowledge you learn will help you behave more bravely and in addition to that more intelligently. It's awe-inspiring how many opportunities we deny ourselves due to deficiency of knowledge or experience. In this prosperous information age, I don't know is plainly not a valid rationalization. All the data you require is readily accessible on the net, in cheap books, or in others' brains. If ignorance is restraining you in any field of your life, then take the first step and train yourself. Chapter 4, Commit beforehand. An easy way to build bravery is to make commitments that do not call for much bravery to swallow, but that call for substantial bravery to carry out. Decide. Once you place yourself on record, you will tend to carry out what you said you would do. Little commitments may help you overpower complacency and build up substantial bravery. During my beginning few months as a member of a local oral presentation club, I chose to enter a funny speech competition. I had never contended in a grown-up speech competition previously, however, when I was asked if I wanted to take part, it didn't take much bravery for me to state, certainly, I'll do it. As the competition date got closer, all the same, I started to second-guess my decisiveness. What in the world have I gotten myself into here? However, as I was already committed to the competition, I carried out what I said and did my finest. Bracing myself for every round of competition was difficult work, but I had a lot of fun and likely gained ground on my oral presentation skills by the equivalent of 8 to 12 months of steady club attendance. Following that beginning contest season, I felt much more sure-footed and brave as a speaker, and I moved on to compete in other speech competitions. I'm certain I wouldn't be as well situated with oral presentation nowadays if I hadn't committed to that beginning contest several years ago. All it required to get rolling was to open my mouth and state, I will do it. Rather than putting off your concerns, make a commitment to confront them. If you are afraid of oral presentation, commit to handing a speech. If you're afraid of altitudes, enroll in a rock climbing course. If you're afraid of getting in the water, sign on for swim lessons. Remember that whatsoever you dread, you have to sooner or later confront, including dying itself. Chapter 5: What Bravery Does for You. When you establish bravery, you begin to better your personal life. Building bravery will help you take risks to a sunnier future that you commonly would not take. When you build bravery, you place fear behind you. Advantages. Bravery is the procedure of accepting that you have fears, yet you're willing to discover a way to get the better of those fears and not let these concerns to take charge of you. It's all right to feel your fears at advantageous times. For example, if a car is coming your way, swerving, you've a right to fear. There's nothing wrong with sound fear. The issue is you have to place healthy fear where it belongs and unhealthy concern out of your life. Once you build up bravery, you'll learn to self-direct your life. You'll learn to swallow punishment and payoffs graciously. A brave individual will frequently feel motivated to assume blame and responsibility while critiquing their actions and utilizing what they learn to move ahead. Brave individuals will step to the front, instead of withdrawing when chances come their way. On the other hand, a brave individual will step back and consider his or her errors. Occasionally, the brave individual is spontaneous. It's never good to plan every day, as no one knows what the following day will introduce. Consider it. How many times have you designed something all to see it fall apart? For example, you plan to go to a ball game tomorrow. Tomorrow a snowstorm, hurricane, tornado, windstorm, or rainstorm may change that. As you can see, designing isn't always in your favor, which is why brave hoi polloi are occasionally spontaneous. An individual willing to better their life will relax. This individual will loosen up even when plans go bad. For example, if it rained on ball game day, the individual will find something else to do and feel even as happy about that. To become successful and better your life, you'll have to learn how to trust your instincts. When you do, you can trust other people too. Alas, we live in a world where trust is difficult to find, yet when you trust your intuition, you can't blame other people when things fail. B. Wrapping up. Bravery is a choice. To be brave is to face up to your fearfulness with the might that comes from your deepest associations. As you direct your life into alignment with reality, affection, and might, fear's grasp on you will gradually soften. Reality helps you see through the fancy of fearfulness, so you are able to maintain command over your life. Affection prompts you to intensify your connections and accomplish the unafraid state of unity. And might supplies the power to act despite fear, building up bravery in the process. Regardless how hard it might appear, decide to confront your fears consciously. Do not pass away without embracing the venturesome course your life is intended to be. You might go bankrupt. You might go through failure and rejection repeatedly. You might suffer multiple bad relationships. However, these are all mileposts on the course of a life lived bravely. These are your individual triumphs, carving a deeper space inside you to be filled up with an abundance of pleasure, happiness, and fulfillment. Be afraid if you have to be, then muster up the bravery to follow your aspirations anyway. That's power undefeatable.